and thank you for joining me today. So today's yoga practice is designed to be done after we have finished our periods. Don't worry if you no longer menstruate or if you're having irregular periods. If you can sort of just find a point that you maybe think this is when you would be having this part of your cycle, then you can do it then. But if not, it's just a nice nourishing yin practice to be done at any point, perhaps when you're not feeling at your best or your energy isn't up there and you're not feeling energetic in a sense. So what we want to be thinking, however, if you are using this to support your menstrual cycle, is we're now in the follicular stage, which roughly lasts up to about maybe 11 to 14 days before ovulation. So our folliculars are starting to grow in our ovaries so that they can release that egg at the ovulation stage. But however, I'm aware that some of us may no longer ovulate, or we may be going through the menopause, or as I say, irregular periods. So don't worry too much about it. As I say, it's just a nice practice and you can do it even if you're not too sure of where you are in your menstrual cycle. So what I would say for this is we want to really create this nourishing space for ourselves. So have your props. I've got an eye pillow, belt, and also a few other things hiding here. Block, and a blanket is going to be really important here. A thick blanket if you can have one. If you have one, sorry. And then also a pillow or a bolster, cushion, something like that as well. So just making sure that you have those handy for your practice. And yeah, as I say, it's going to be a slow practice today, quite restorative, small bit of movement. The idea is we want to really nourish our womb and our pelvic space, preparing, as I say, for the folliculars to grow. And this is also going to help you in your menstrual cycle in a sense, as if we follow this sequence, I'm going to have other practices for you to also watch, but it helps to then regulate our cycle and balance our hormones as well, which means our periods can sometimes come back into the regular cycle. We might not experience as much pain as we do with our periods, and it can also support our fertility. So we'll get started. We're going to start in a comfortable seat. So crossing your legs, you can have the legs out long in front of you, or you can also sit back and have the knees bent. And what we're going to do is a breath work practice known as Kapalbhati. So Kapalbhati is we focus more on our exhale, and the inhale happens automatically. And we want to sort of be pushing down into our womb space. And this is where we want to maintain the focus. We're creating some localized circulation here. And yeah, we don't need to go too forceful. And what I'm wanting you to do is sometimes it helps to place one hand on your stomach, and you can also place one hand on your heart. And we take an inhale and then we exhale. Now, when we begin, we take an inhale halfway, and then in the exhale, we make this movement and we're pushing out through the stomach area, and you should breathe out through the nose and the mouth should be closed. So I'm just going to show you just first of all, maybe 5 breaths here for you to kind of know what we're going to be doing as we move forward. So it looks a bit like this. So we inhale halfway and then exhale. So that's the pattern of breath work that we're going to do. We're going to do that 20 times. And then after the exhale, we'll inhale, and you can choose to hold. We're just going to hold for 10 counts. And then we exhale and we'll do it again. If the hold isn't comfortable for you, then just go back to natural breathing until we start back on the next round. So say 20 if you can manage it. If not, just take the count of breath that works for you, have a break and join back in when you can. Okay? And it's also nice if you close your eyes so that you can bring that awareness inwards. So when you're ready, we'll just ground ourselves, settling down into the earth. Just relaxing the shoulders. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Just do that 2 more times. And then on our next breath, as we exhale, inhale halfway. And then beginning on the exhale. Inhale, hold, just tuck the chin, holding for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let go, exhale. Inhale. Exhale, and then beginning again on the next inhale halfway, and then exhale for 20. Inhale, tuck the chin, hold for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Let go and allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. If you can, keep your eyes closed and just bringing your awareness down into your womb space. And just allowing both hands to rest here at your womb, at the pelvis area. Just becoming aware of any sensations that you feel. And I want you to just bring to mind what your intention is, why you've decided to take this class today. What is it you need? And on your next breath, breathing that intention into your body, in through the mind, down into your heart, and allow it to settle in your womb space. A big part of this practice is getting to know yourself and reconnecting to your womb. So we're going to start to take some circles in our hips. If you want to, you can change the cross of your leg. And then keeping your hands on your womb space, or you can bring your hands onto your knees. Just taking small circles in one direction. Just getting a sense of this pelvic bowl. Also beginning to visualize your womb, so your ovaries, fallopian tube. We're so often disconnected to our inside, constantly in that external world, so bringing everything back in. And then changing direction. No rush. Just again stimulating some circulation. And then we'll come back through to center. And then from here, we're going to stay cross-legged, and then we're going to come into some cat-cow movement. So we can bring our hands up behind the head, and then from here, we're just going to inhale, lift the chest, stretching through the front of the body. Feel that stretch all the way from the pubic bone up to the crown of the head. And then as we exhale, we begin to round. We're going to do that 4 more times. Inhale, lift and rise. And then exhale, round. If you can, begin to connect to your breath as we move. So inhaling and exhale. 2 more times. Last one. And then as we exhale, we're just going to hold it here. Find a stretch through the length of the spine from the base all the way up to the base of the neck. Just allowing everything to hang heavy. And then slowly we'll release off. And just relaxing the arms, just give them a shake. Just moving anything that's in your way to the side. We're going to come round and come onto all fours. I'm just going to continue with this cat-cow movement for a few breaths, just to release off through the spine. So palm of the hands down, shoulder width apart, knees hip width apart. You can keep the toes tucked or untucked, and then we inhale, lift the chest, shoulders back, gaze looks up. And then exhale round. As you do, push into the palms, really pull the belly button in, so slight contraction through the pelvic area. And then do that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. 1 more. Inhale. And exhale. Well done. Now from here, we're going to sit back on our heels. So just take the knees wider than hip width, and then sit back onto the heels and extend your arms out long in front of you. Just holding it here for a moment. Bring your forehead to the mat. If it goes naturally, that's fine. If not, you can pad it up. So you might bring your hands there just to support the forehead, or if you have a block, that's sometimes quite nice. So just choosing, just making sure that your forehead is down against something. And then we're just going to just massage your forehead from side to side. So massaging into our third eye. This is also a point in acupressure to help relax and calm the mind. And just taking a few more breaths, you can just allow the head to settle if you're still moving it from side to side. And then release off. We're going to press down into our palms, coming up into a gentle downward dog. We're not going to be here too long, just enough to allow ourselves a slight inversion. So coming into that downward dog, and then you can choose to stay still or pedal through the feet. Just stretching off through the backs of the legs. And then coming to some stillness. And then from here, just take a full breath in. Exhale, let go a sigh. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more. And exhale. Just dropping back down onto the knees. Sit back onto your heels, this time coming into Vajrasana. Now I've got a sore leg here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a wider stance, but if you can, keep the heels together. And if that's not comfortable, then you can take a block and just bring yourself up onto your knees and then roll the calves out and sit back. And just stay there for a moment. Palms in the receiving. So I still can't do it that way, so I'm going to extend one leg out. But if you can, just keep both knees bent. Palms up, take a moment, come back to your breath. And coming back to what I said at the beginning, so this phase of our cycle is all about growth. It's all about creating something new. So just feeling into that energy that is rising within you. This point of creation. And then gently release. So we're going to come down into Sphinx, but I want you to use your blanket for this. So what we're going to do is we're going to roll the blanket up. So this is going to create some compression in our pelvis area. So you want the blanket to be quite thick, not really bulky, but enough that you're going to feel the compression. So roll it, and then you want to place this above or below your belly button. So not on the belly, but above or below. And then you're going to lie down, coming into our Sphinx. And yeah, so choose your position. You'll know yourself, so you can play around with it. Just try not have it on the hip bones either. So above or below the belly. And then you'll feel this compression. And then you just want to support yourself with your elbows. Quite nice sometimes if you have a block as well. You can place your forehead down in the block. And then, first of all, just press down through the tops of the toes. Press down through your hips and feel the lower back area start to find space there. So you're finding this sort of the sacrum area. You should feel the space starting to be created there. And we're starting to give ourselves a little bit of an internal massage. So as you inhale, push down into the blanket and then exhale. And we're going to do that for 10 breaths. So inhale, exhale for 10. Inhale, exhale, 9. 8. 7. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Gently begin to release. And I want you just to lie here on your belly if that's still comfortable. Taking the hands either making a pillow or down by the sides. And then just feel what's going on now in that lower abdomen area down into the pelvis. Can you feel that sense of aliveness? And our aim is to nourish this area of our body. So promoting the blood flow and the energy. And at the same time, giving ourselves the opportunity to release and let go and to completely relax into this moment. Nourishing not only our body, but also our mind. And we'll just stay for another 3 breaths. And then slowly beginning to release, bringing the palms underneath the shoulders. Just tucking the toes, send your hips back, coming back into your child's pose for a moment. And just holding it here. So still keeping a bit of compression. And then we're going to lift up onto our knees. Take an inhale, lift the arms up towards the sky. Slight back bend, just be careful. If you need to, you can tuck your toes. And then exhale, allow the arms to release down by the side. So we're going to keep with this compression through our womb space. Just be careful that you're not applying too much pressure. And if it's too sensitive, just maybe use the blanket here instead of what I'm going to show you with the fists. So if you're going to use the fists, what I'm going to do is we're going to just interlace the fingers together so we've got this sort of lock. And then we're going to bring it to our, just below the belly button again. And then we're going to come into a child's pose. So when you come down, you might need a block for this for the forehead. Or if you've got your blanket, you could also use the blanket. And I say we're going to take this fist and then we're going to just bring it down to as low to the pubic bone as you can. And then come down, forehead to the floor or down onto your block. If that's feeling too much pressure, then you can use your blanket for that. Okay? So when you're ready, taking your option, and if your knees actually it doesn't feel comfortable with them together, you can take the knees apart. I'm probably going to look a little bit different doing this just because of my knee injury, but as I say, take the child's pose option. And we're going to stay here for around about 10 breaths. And I want these to be big, full breaths into our lung space, into the back of the body. When you're ready, and inhale and exhale. I'm just going to leave you here just to be with whatever's arising for you. And then slowly, when you're ready, just starting to make your way back up again. Just releasing the arms and then coming into downward dog for a moment. Just notice that flow of blood where you're feeling it through the body. Take an inhale. And then exhale, release, coming back down onto our knees. Lifting up, so coming in to this camel variation as we lift the arms up overhead. And then exhale, coming back to sit back in Vajrasana. Just staying there for a moment. Just being with whatever you can feel in your body right now. And then coming back, we're just going to do that one more time. So coming back into your child's pose. And then using your fists, or you can take your blanket. Coming down, forehead down on the floor. Take a full breath in. Try when you're breathing on the inhale to press into your fists or into the blanket, and then exhale, really. Doing that for around about 10 breaths. And then slowly releasing. This time I'm just going to get you to stay still. So sitting back on your heels, or you can come down into a cross leg position. And just feel into your womb space, into the pelvic area. And these slower movements, we really get a sense of what's going on in our body. And we'll begin to release off. We're going to make our way now down onto our back. So before you get there, you might want to watch what we're going to do. So we're going to come into half Pavanmuktanasana as it's known. But again, we're going to keep with this localized compression. So what you can do is you can bring a blanket, and then you keep the left leg extended out, and then you'll bring the right knee in towards you, and you can hold on with your hands, just clasping them on the outside of the right shin. And we can relax here, so we don't need to have the heels extended, just release the feet so that everything's nice and soft, and the main focus is in this compression in the hip area. Now another option, we're going to be here for a while, maybe about 2 minutes, so if you want to, then this is a nice option to keep everything together, is your belt. So with the belt, you will extend it out so that you've got a big loop, and when you're doing this, just always make sure that you take the belt through the back of the buckle and then bring it down the front so that you have this lock. And then what you will do is the same idea. We'll come down, but bring the belt around you. Squeeze the knee in towards you, and then you're going to pull the belt in, and then just keep pulling it until there's this sort of hammock here that you can't take it any tighter. So everything should hold in, and then you can sort of let go now. And then just relaxing here, making sure you can feel a little bit of compression in that right hip. Close your eyes, and then just be. Just know that you're fully nourishing your body, taking this time for yourself today. Nothing else to do. Just noticing if your mind's beginning to wander, and bring it back into your body. Allow your breath to be your anchor. Bringing that awareness back into your womb space. We're just taking 5 more breaths here. And then whenever you're ready, just slowly begin to release if you have the belt. Releasing the hand, releasing the blanket. And take a few moments in this integration space to feel how the right side feels compared to the left. No judgments, no stories, simply feeling. And then when you're ready, we'll take that over to the opposite side. Just rolling that blanket back up again if it's become unraveled. Bending the left knee this time, and then you choose whether you want to hold on to the knee or you can use that belt for support. And making sure the blanket's as close into the crease of that left hip as possible. And then we just surrender to this moment. Let go. And I'll say we'll be here for about 2 minutes, so I'll leave you in silence. Just remember you have your breath whenever the mind begins to wander. And slowly after this next breath, we'll begin to release. And you can remove the belt completely if you have it there. Making as little movement as possible. And then we just feel what's going on.
And perhaps you can notice how you feel in your body now compared to when you first began the practice. Might be feeling more space, more sensation. And even if you're not feeling anything different, that's okay, as we're simply bringing this awareness back into our body, reconnecting to ourselves. So slowly now we're going to move into our final shape of the practice, which is a spinal twist. So staying lying on our back, just hugging the knees in towards the chest. You can massage the lower back here, just rocking the knees gently from side to side. And then from here, taking our arms into our T shape, we're going to bring the knees over to one side, so coming into a spinal twist here. And if you've got any weight, sometimes it's nice just to place that on the top hip to really feel this sense of grounding. And then you can keep your head looking up towards the sky or take it over to the opposite side, so looking over that left arm. Closing your eyes. And then breathing into the left side of your body. Full deep breaths all the way to the bottom of the lung. We have 1 more minute. And then slow as you can, begin to come back through to center. Just taking a moment in this in-between part to find balance once again. Hugging the knees in towards the chest. And then slowly moving them over to the opposite side. If you want, using that blanket just on top of the hip or anything else to ground yourself down. And you can start to make any adjustments that you need to. Trying to keep both shoulders on the floor. Closing the eyes down. Allow yourself to melt now into the earth. It's so true about our yin restorative practices that the more that you can let go. And the less that you do, the more you can receive. Rest is our birthright. So try to slow the mind down of any thought and gift yourself this time and space to be present. And then as we move out of the side, take a full breath in. And exhale. Gently bringing yourself back to your center. Taking a moment once again just to feel that release. And then I'm just going to give you 1 minute now to do whatever you feel that you want to do before we come into our Shavasana. So intuitively listening to your body, what does it need? It might be a few bridge lifts to open and expand through the front of the body. You might feel like taking a half a baby. Or maybe you're all ready to come to that place of stillness. Just exploring what your body needs. And then eventually we'll all meet down back on our mat, legs out long in front of us. If you do have your cushion or your bolster or anything like that, you might want to place it underneath the knee. And then if you have your neck roll, actually I'll come up to show you this one. Not your neck roll, your blanket roll. You can turn it into a neck roll. And what you want to do is just roll it up ever so slightly. And then the curve of your neck, you place that in the bit of the blanket that's rolled up. So it doesn't need to be too thick here. We don't want our chin to be pointing up to the sky. More so just parallel with our chest here. So coming down, leaving that little bit of space above the blanket. And then just having that little bit of blanket in between the neck here. And then if you've got an extra blanket, placing that over you. And then we're just going to come into a short guided body scan here to really ground yourself down into the earth and let go. So allowing your whole body to begin to relax. This practice has been in preparation for our final relaxation. Feel into your body and notice if there's any areas that still feel tight or tense. And then taking a full breath in. Exhale, let go a sigh. Doing that 2 more times. Inhale. And exhale. Last one. Feeling the earth rising up to hold you. And as you exhale, softly, gently releasing into that hold. Bring your awareness down to your feet. Relax and soften both feet, all 10 toes. Relax your ankles, your lower leg. Soften through the knees, the upper leg. Allowing your womb space and your pelvic area to relax. Releasing any contraction through the pelvic floor muscles and the stomach muscles. Relaxing your bum, the lower back, the middle of your back, and your upper back. Relaxing your belly and your chest. Relaxing your shoulders, your arms all the way down into your hands and your fingers. Everything is beginning to soften. Tension is releasing. Relaxing your neck, the back of the head, the crown of your head. Relaxing your face, all your facial muscles beginning to relax. Your forehead, the temples, eyebrows, the point between your eyebrows, both eyes, the back of the eyes, the eyeball, and your eyelids. Relaxing your nose, feeling the softness of your breath entering in through both nostrils. Cool air. And as you breathe out, feel the warmth of your breath on your upper lip. Relaxing your cheeks, your ears, your mouth. Slightly parting your lips to release any tension from the mouth or the jaw. Relaxing your tongue. Releasing it from the roof of the mouth if it's there. And just feel your whole body relax from the tip of the toes all the way up to the crown of the head. And from the crown of the head all the way down to the tip of the toes. Perhaps you can feel your heart beating slower. Your breath is relaxed. Just be here now. You feel your mind starting to wander. Just bring it back to your breath. And you have the option, if you have some time, to remain here a while longer. Or if you're ready to go about the rest of your day, beginning to make some movement. Wriggling through your fingers and your toes. No rush. And when you're ready, you can take a stretch with the arms overhead, pointing through the toes. And then bringing the knees into the chest, give yourself a hug. And rocking over either to your right or your left side. Take a moment there. Be in this place of mindfulness. Setting the intention to take this into the rest of your day or into your evening if it's before bed that you're practicing. And then slowly, mindfully, bringing yourself up into a comfortable space, trying to keep those eyes closed, coming into a seated position. And resting both hands in your womb space. Take a moment to find some gratitude. Gratitude to yourself for taking the time out to practice. Gratitude for your body. Sending love down into your womb space. Sending love into your heart. Placing one hand over your heart and feel this connection. And to close, we're going to chant Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Take a full breath in. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Just bringing your hands together at our heart center, bowing down into our heart, bowing to our womb space. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this practice and just being able to take that time out. It's so important, and as women we need to honour our health needs, and
I'm hoping to share more practices that will allow us to do that. So if there's anything at all that you would like to see, just drop me a message, let me know in the comments, and hopefully I'll be able to share some practices that nourish us, and yeah, just help us to reset and be the best version of ourselves and support our health as well. So thank you so much, and I will see you again soon. Thank you.